drama has been caused on the last few days inside the Dragon Ball community. With the release of the new movie poster, we frankly learned that Broli is actually going to be the main antagonist of the show, and many people seem to be against this idea of bringing back a character that seemed a mistake on the first place. But of course, just like any other group of people, there are some guys who are actually happy that they get to see yet another reiteration of their most favorite antagonist of Dragon Ball. In order to back this up, Toei and Toriyama made sure to release a statement about this character. The idea behind this is that Broli is an antagonist that was not Toriyama's idea. It was suggested by the editors at Toei Animation because Broli as a character is designed by Toriyama. It was a bit easier for them to go along with that, so Toriyama even stated that he forgot that he ever did something with Broli and actually had to rewatch the movies in order to understand what Broli was all about. Granted, the Broli movies were not written by Akira Toriyama and he had nothing but the character designs to do with it. Toriyama stated that he wants to keep the character on the old fashion and what made people love it, but he will try to also bring another side of him, or better said, add more depth to a pretty flat character. Broli is a great concept, a great design who looks very intimidating, but Broli has nothing on his character side. What mostly doesn't make sense with him is the idea that he wants to kill Goku or Kakarot, because he cried as a child and apparently that really bugged him. Broli's concept should have been like, I want to kill Vegeta, whose father wanted Broli erased from the existence. That would have made a lot more sense back. At the time of this recording, we don't have the HD or high definition look of Broli's character design, but they have changed one or two things while mostly staying loyal to the old design, which ties with Toriyama saying that he wants to keep the originality of the character, and that leads to believe that Broli could be a rebooted character and actually have a lot more depth. While going onto this film, we were promised a story of science, which indeed tells me that we'll be seeing a Broli with a different goal now than before. Killing Goku and Vegeta of course is going to be a priority, but the main reasoning behind it is that it has to be more logical than the other three movies that were made for Dragon Ball Z. Broli as a character makes sense from a financial standpoint. It doesn't give them the burden to come up with another character from scratch that they don't know if it will work. They went fairly safe with this option without actually realizing how much damage it might do to the franchise. But in overall grand of scheme, Broli is the most popular movie antagonist of Dragon Ball, and it just made sense for them to go with that. The burden now falls on Toriyama to not repeat what he did with Dragon Ball Minus, or better said with Bardock, but actually this time he has to improve the character. Granted, you can use this both ways, as saying that it is not 100% guaranteed that Toriyama fixes Broli due to what he did with Bardock, but the truth is Bardock didn't need any kind of fixings. He was very well suited character for Dragon Ball with a pure goal of Bardock didn't need any more depth, while Broli does, so judging this early on by what Toriyama did on Dragon Ball Minus is pretty wrong. Everything is 50-50. As I have explained in quite some videos, Toriyama is a very inconsistent writer recently, but what he did on Battle of Gods leaves us hope that he can write another good script for this movie that makes sense and engages the viewer to watch it. Resurrection F was a movie purely based on making money, and nothing there was going to be special. People were well aware of how Dragon Ball is run, especially recently, didn't go to watch that movie with hopes to see a movie so well written that was going to blow their mind. Granted, it was a very disappointing script. Toriyama could have done much better with it, but still they brought back Frieza, so not too much there going on. But another thing that this movie that we're aware right now is that we won't be having too many characters involved into fighting. It just depends on how they manage it, but to make it easier and more engaging, it seems that they don't want to go through the Resurrection F mess with everybody fighting, but go straight to the point of Goku and Vegeta versus Broli, and maybe Paragus this time gets a chance to shine and actually do something. It all depends on how Toriyama wants to really write it. Goku is the face of shonen genre, and not so long ago Vegeta was voted the best second fiddle character of the shonen genre, leaving behind the likes of Sasuke, but that's for another video. So it just makes sense from the story standpoint. It won't be a huge mess, only two guys get to fight, and that leaves room for more time to shine for the protagonist, which I'm completely in for. Frieza's part is the most worrying thing of this movie. Personally speaking, I'm already mentally exhausted with this character, and that's the way how the franchise should actually be. They keep going back to him. Weirdly enough, this time it seems very appropriate to have Frieza, since it's a battle of Saiyans and there will also be a backstory given, but what breaks it is the role that Frieza might have on the movie. For as long as Frieza doesn't fight, it should be all fine and very enjoyable, as his character is way more suited that way than when he fights. Overall thoughts is that this movie is still looking to be exciting and something great to come. Maybe it will be a movie that just won't reboot Broly's character, but the whole franchise, because this franchise badly needs it, especially with the idea of going back to nostalgia, because it works and not taking any kinds of risks. Dragon Ball needs a reboot, and we really do hope that it gets so. Personally, I'm not happy that they chose Broli as the main antagonist just because of what I said. It bugs me that they don't try to progress the story forward and actually are showing signs of the franchise being dead sooner than expected. It all depends on projects they have, but if they go back to nostalgia all the time, Dragon Ball doesn't have long before it's done for good, and I really do hope that it doesn't go to that road. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and let me know what do you think about Broli being the antagonist for the movie. Do you really think that Toriyama is going to give him a lot more depth, or do you really think that it is going to be something that we won't even notice? Let me know all your ideas in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one.